welcome back to the Tea and a Buddy podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And on today's episode, it's going to be another news roundup. We haven't done one of these in a while,
I think we said we were going to do one like once a month, and then we
that
haven't.
just kind of went out the window, like a lot of our ideas. And then it was just kind of like, oh, we need, to do one. Because we had originally had another topic planned for today, but we're pushing that back or forward, or...
Yeah.
It'll come to you anyway, because, we'll record it and we'll get it out to you ASAP.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot happening, obviously, in the world.
Yeah. Is there?
Today and, this month, anyway.
Yeah.
And, I've just got a little news roundup of, politics, entertainment.
Let's have them.
Mostly entertainment and,
Yes. Well, that's what we like to talk about.
Because we don't really delve too much into politics. We're not a political podcast.
No.
And
we like to be a place to escape to, rather than just piling on.
Exactly. Yeah, because people like to listen to political podcasts. They like to enjoy and get people's thoughts on things, and I
wonder what the most popular types of podcasts are. I have a feeling they might be those murder podcasts.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't really done too much research. ours is a very niche podcast, I think. Would you say it was a niche?
We're entertainment.
Our viewers, our listeners.
We're culture and entertainment.
Culture. We're very cultured.
With a twist?
With a bit of a twist.
I don't know.
I don't know, really.
But those murder kind of stories, those seem to be really popular podcasts.
The murder, yes, it's on the 28th of December, 1970...
Yeah.
So-and-so was driving, and then they were kidnapped, and then their body was found, and this guy was to blame, and it was all this, and he was a serial killer.
But it turned out he wasn't really the one who did it.
It was actually the other guy.
People love that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's like all those Dateline
stories. They're very popular. And she... Well, it's kind of it's kind of the same sort of thing as Scandival. And not to reiterate that kind of thing. It's the same sort of thing, except Scandival's very much more lighthearted.
Well, you mean it's drama? It's
drama.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Someone died, and someone died, or whatever, if it was murder,
Yeah.
Someone got murdered. Murdered dead. But yeah,
this will not be a Scandival podcast. Do not worry.
Well, I'm going to have to, clear half of the end now, because, I've just written up a huge thing of Scandival stuff. I'm kidding. No, I haven't. We'll get the politics out of the way.
Okay.
And,
I've only got to touch on Scandival.
We'll touch on the politics of Scandival. But, the big story is Trump's been indicted on 30 counts by Manhattan grand jury.
Yeah.
And he's appearing in court today.
Yeah.
Right now,
I think I just saw a thing, is it right now? No, I think I just saw a thing that he was flying from Florida to New York to turn himself in.
Well, yes. Because there's a lot of, you see a lot of people saying, oh, he thought he was going to be arrested 2 weeks ago or last week or something.
Yeah.
Because he tweeted out, says, I'm going to be arrested. Oh, they can't do this to me.
Yeah. I think people were...
It's very sad.
And speaking of the drama of the situation, I think there are people out there that kind of wanted you'll never take me alive, coppers, kind of thing. And he's a chase down, I don't know,
in a Ford Bronco.
Some Florida interstate.
People wanted the Ford Bronco moment. Of Trump in a Ford Bronco on the phone and people going, come on, Trump, turn yourself in. It's going to be okay. Don't have to do this low-speed chase in his golf cart, you know?
Yes.
But
his golf cart, I just got that.
In his little golf cart, and the cops are coming across the green. They're ruining my green.
Yes, you can, as we say, we're entertainment podcasts, so we're making light of the situation.
This is if you have not followed it, if you are you do not like the man and you do not want to hear anything about him, we apologize. But what this is. It's
It is
something
news.
to do with hush money.
Well, he's the first president that this has ever happened to.
Yes, I mean, people are trying to, like, I think his main base are trying to say, oh, Clinton paid hush money to someone in the 90s, and he should have been indicted for it.
I mean, if we're being fair, I would say that
the majority, and
a big majority of them, I would say, over time, have probably paid hush money to somebody. Because let's face it,
it's a political scandal.
Politics is a dirty business.
It's a dirty business, and I'd like to see the person that's totally hands clean.
We are not making any excuses for Trump, obviously.
We're not making any excuses for him, no.
But being realistic, you know.
But, you know, of course, the main base is trying to skew this as, oh, he's being arrested because he paid money to Stormy Daniels. And it's like, that's not why. Because paying hush money, that's not illegal.
Yeah.
You can pay as much money as you want to shut people up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got to be your own hard-earned money. And that's what the thing is. It's like you used campaign funds. People donated to you to use to get elected, and yet here you are trying to pay off people to sign, because I think that's illegal too. It's like,
I'm not
to
sure
affect
all the
outcome of an election. If she come out and said, "Oh, he did this and did that and whatever," you know. You know, it might have affected the outcome of the election, and he paid.
He still maintains that he never had an affair with her, that they never slept together, you know.
I think it's been proved otherwise, though.
I think that the details of the charges
they've been kept very secret. I think it's like over 30 counts.
Yeah, it's just it's complete speculation, really, by the media as to what exactly he's being indicted for, you know. It's 100% speculation. People think that they know based on, you know, the evidence from the past with, what's his name? Michael
Cohen.
Michael Cohen.
Well, he's going to be the star witness, I think, because he came out and he said, yeah, I paid the hush money, it was done through me. And everybody's like, oh my gosh.
There's a bunch of other investigations going on about Trump, by the way.
Oh, yes. And I mean, this is the only time he's been
this is just one.
This is the gotcha moment,
This is just one. Anyway.
And people, of course, are wondering what's going to happen if he's running for president.
He can still run for president.
He can still run for president.
Yeah.
Even if he's in jail, he can still do it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, yeah, but...
It's like, will they, you know...
Take away his phone, take away his computer?
Will they allow a camera to come in and let him hold one of his rallies from behind bars? You know, like, someone's just there filming it, and he's there behind bars, and he's in his little black and white jumpsuit with the hat, you know, and he's got the and he's got the prisoner number across his chest, you know, and he's just there with his metal can on the things, and he's like, people of America. He's just like rubbing his metal can against the bars, you know.
Yeah, and I don't know how that's going to play out.
Live
he'll
from
have to pull out, surely.
I don't know.
The Republicans won't support him if he's in jail.
They won't. I think you're underestimating his base.
His base, but I don't think his base is as big as everyone seems to think it might be.
I think he's still the front runner for the Republican Party.
Well, that's because there's nobody else.
There's DeSantis.
Yeah.
DeSantis. The guy from Florida.
Florida Governor DeSantis. And he hasn't said, I think he's waiting to see how this plays out. Before he makes a decision whether to throw his lot in, you know.
Alright, let's move on.
Moving on, speaking of people ousted by fair elections.
Yeah.
Sanna Marin, who was Finland's Prime Minister who made waves about a year ago because of the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She was...
Because she was out partying.
Yeah. Yeah. She was ousted by the Conservatives in Finland, and it was a tight election. So she's gone.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and of course people think that was probably due to the whole scandal. I mean, you call it a scandal, really. She was just out dancing and drinking, you know.
Yeah.
Like any self-respecting prime minister.
Taking selfies.
Taking selfies, dancing raunchily. I mean, you know, every prime minister has done it. I mean, you just got to look at Boris Johnson.
Oh my God.
But yeah. And, yeah. That was that, you know. We're finished with the politics now.
Oh, yes.
We'll move on to entertainment now, because you're probably sick of hearing about it.
You might be sick of hearing about this first story, too, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't really know too much about it until... You know, I kept seeing things and I kept seeing little bits.
Yeah, on TikTok.
No, yeah, I'll be talking about TikTok.
Everybody was talking about it on TikTok. Everybody was following it on TikTok.
I mean, everybody, you know, it's like...
Sorry to interrupt here. If you guys hear children screaming in the background, apparently our neighbors did not go to school today for some reason. And they're just like running loose around the
kids did not go to school today. The kids don't live alone over there.
They might, for all I know.
Yeah, I mean, if you can hear that, that's... we apologies.
Yeah. We apologies.
We apologize profusely for it.
Yeah.
But yes, this story, and it's about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
And this lawsuit that was brought against her by some guy, Terry Sanderson. It was a 2016 ski accident at a Utah ski resort.
Yeah.
And it just seems why is it taking him this long to muster up the money to...
he had brain damage.
And it was a little bit of a Bishop Brennan moment in
he had
Father
brain
Ted,
damage.
when he was like, she did crash into me. Let's sue her, you know, or what, you know.
Yeah.
It's
he crashed into her, actually.
Yeah, he crashed into her. She won the lawsuit. It was, you know...
The whole thing was kind of absurd, really, because he crashed into her. She did kind of wait around for a little while, but...
She waited around a little while, and then she
apparently
skied off.
Yeah, she did. Apparently her publicist was like, yeah, you can get out of here. It's all right. He was unconscious. The guy was unconscious. But the thing is...
Why did they call the publicist, first of all? It's like, oh, what should I do here? Should I wait around? Should I wait around like a good person? Or should I just leave and pretend like, oh, what happened
I don't know if anybody else was there. To be honest, I wasn't following it that closely either. I just kept seeing things on TikTok.
Videos and photos, and I was like, what is going on?
Her lawyer... Because he said he had brain damage, he couldn't remember things. His doctor, he went to several doctors, I think, and they were saying, oh yeah, you have this, and this because of that, you know.
He was suing her for $3.1 million in damages.
But her lawyer showed that after that crash, he went on to travel around the world. There's all kinds of pictures of him living it up all around the world.
And he can't remember a single moment of it.
Yeah, he needs reimbursement for all those travel costs.
Yeah, somebody was using my credit card. I need $3.1 million.
It's funny, though, because the lawyer was just like, yeah, how absurd is this that someone can crash into you and then sue you? You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
It was absurd. There
was like all this kind of things like, oh, he was grunting and it was like a sexual assault or something, she kind of said. I thought I was being sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
Because he was grunting and kind of going, oh, and people were like, well, because he was in pain, you know, he just crashed into you.
Yeah.
And he was alleging, oh, she crashed into me. Because, you know, and But
this was years ago.
This was in 2016.
This was years ago. Almost 10 years ago, and I don't know. It seemed like a waste of time. It was bizarre. I don't know. I didn't. Let us know if you guys watched it. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the case, but it just seemed like a waste of time.
It was a waste of time. I mean, he initially sued her for $3.1 million.
System, you know, yeah.
And then apparently a judge dismissed that, and he refiled his complaint, and he was seeking more than $300,000. Because they were like, you're not going to get $3.1 million. You crashed into it. Oh, you know,
you're fine. You know,
you're fine. You know.
She countersued.
She countersued because she was like, I'm not settling out of court for this. You know,
yeah.
Because if someone sues you, you can either just go, okay, dismiss it.
Just give you some money to go away, basically.
Yes.
Some hush money.
Some hush money. Just spoken to Trump about that. And it's, she countersued and said, okay, if I win, I get $1 and you pay my attorney fees.
Yeah.
Which is what's happening.
Yeah.
And, everyone's classically, like when the judge, the jury decided she wasn't at fault and he was.
Yeah.
She was awarded $1 and she came out and she said to him, "Oh, I wish you well," or something.
Yeah.
And but it was just a big waste of time. I have a feeling it was just like, oh, the publicist was like, yeah, you should countersue. We'll get you back in the public eye with this. You'll win this easily because he crashed into you.
Yeah.
And it'll be like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and it'll be everybody will be, and nobody was, though.
I mean, some people were following it quite closely. I think what she was wearing to court was making more of a splash
her faces, apparently, because the camera was on her, and apparently that wound the lawyer up, because they were like, the camera's always on her.
Yeah.
It's like, there shouldn't be cameras in courtrooms anyway. It's like, it's a place of,
Yeah.
deliberation. The public don't get to see that.
Yeah.
If they're not on the jury, you know?
I don't know. I mean, some people would argue the opposite. Cameras and broadcasting it keeps everybody more honest. You know what I mean? It's more honest about what's going on inside that courtroom, Yeah. Anyway, waste of time.
Waste of time, waste of $1. The next thing is BBC's Ghosts is to end after series 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's ending on, they've filmed the last series and, the BBC announced it was going to end. And I think the Daily Mail came out with it. Oh, it's been axed, it's been cancelled. And it's like, no, the cast have decided, who also write the show, have decided to end it.
They seem quite busy. Like, they're in the cast is pretty much in a bunch of things.
In a bunch of things now, yeah. They're getting work, I mean, they've always had work. But, they're also producing the American Ghosts, the CBS version, which I think has been renewed for a third season.
I think as far as network TV goes, it's quite popular, over here.
Yeah. So, stuff needs to come to an end. It's very,
I
it's
can't
much
believe
shorter.
It's already been on for 5 seasons. It doesn't feel like it's...
6 episodes. It's like our show.
Is that it? It's just...
We've been on for, this is the 350th episode.
Don't
and there's some people out there who are just, they've been going longer than us and they're only on episode 88 or whatever.
Yeah, they just come out once a month or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, because we're,
we used to be twice a week, so that was...
Twice a week?
That was a lot. People got sick of us.
People got sick of us, so we decided to cut it down, but we're still here. Can't get rid of us. We're like cockroaches.
But that's sad. It is a funny show.
It is a funny show,
and the BBC doesn't really have many other good sitcoms at the moment.
With the end of Ghost, that's it. They'll just be
they just
dead
have that Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Oh, don't
Isn't
even
that
talk
on the
to
BBC?
me about that one. We've already gone on about that one. Yeah, no, that can just go away. Because it's just terrible. And I mean the Ghosts series. I mean they've got a lot of dramas.
We've got what's his name, who's on Sex Education. He's one of the Terry. Isn't that his name? The one with the arrow and his neck.
What is his name? The character. The character.
It's Terry, I think.
It's not Terry. Pat.
Who's Terry then? Is Terry the equivalent in the American show?
No, Pete is the equivalent.
Pete. Oh.
Yeah. Pat, and because in the American show they've got a load of characters that are just basically, directly translated.
Yeah.
And then they've got a couple that are like, not, like.
They've got a load that are translated, and they've got a couple that
like Flower. I don't know who she's supposed to be like. Well, I guess she's supposed to be like Mary was, but a more modern version.
Yeah, the ditzy one.
Ditzy one, yeah. Pat, Jim Howick.
Yeah, he's on Sex Education.
That's been renewed.
The woman who runs the hotel is now on You.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, Catherine.
Yeah, like the actors.
Charlotte Ritchie.
Yeah,
Charlotte
like the
Ritchie.
actors they're busy doing other things. So,
Yeah.
I mean, who else? You just mentioned Mary. Well, she left the show now, but
she's appeared in Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
the new season of Ted Lasso. Yeah,
yeah.
Which we've got to catch up on actually.
So they're branching out. I mean, they're getting other work, and it's just like they're writing this show. They're in it.
They're in it, and things need to come to an end. It's not like over here, like, oh, let's just keep making the show for 27 series.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's great, but, shall we move on to other things? So it's like, no, we love this show. We'll make more shows. Speaking of making more, Paddington 3 goes into production in July 2023.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah. Whereas Ben Whishaw had previously said, I don't know if it's happening or not.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they said it was going to happen after the second film. It was definitely, and I had the script and everything like that. But, these things kind of just like, they go nowhere sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just like, everybody forgets about it and moves on.
Yeah, yeah.
So it might not be happening.
I mean,
it's definitely happening now.
They must be quite popular in Britain. I don't know how, I mean, they're cute movies, but I don't know how popular they really are over here. Like, I wouldn't have expected there to be a sequel
I think they're pretty popular in the UK. This one is officially titled Paddington in Peru.
Oh, yeah.
And the film will see the anthropomorphic bear travel to his country of origin, and Whishaw is expected to reprise his role as Paddington.
Yeah.
And it's going to feature a combination of returning a new cast, so...
Yeah.
It'll be cute. It'll be another cute movie. I think Paddington 2 was probably the best one.
Yeah, I think I liked it better.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch Paddington? Let us know.
Yeah, the new Paddington movies, anyway, yeah. The next one, I think this is the last one on the entertainment list, actually.
I thought you wanted to talk about Scandival.
Nope.
No Scandival?
No Scandival.
They've filmed the reunion. We have to mention that.
They filmed the reunion.
The reunion has been filmed. Apparently, it became physical. And we don't know who got physical at the reunion, but apparently Andy was having trouble keeping them apart, and so security had to get involved. It became that, serious
People
of a
were rolling around. Andy had someone in a headlock.
It was not Tom Sandoval, Ariana, or Raquel, though, so...
It was James Kennedy and Lisa Vanderpump.
And
they got into it.
And the aggressor apparently was not somebody we would, quote, expect...
Lisa Vanderpump,
to have been it. Lisa was the aggressor?
Lisa headbutted someone. Who did God. Lisa headbutt?
That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I think...
And then Ken came out and gave him the old 1-2,
I think maybe James was going on and...
Someone
about Tom Schwartz, and Tom Schwartz got up, maybe?
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe it was Sheena. Oh, Brock. Maybe Brock.
Brock and James?
Yeah, Brock. Brock's been looking for a way to, Because this season... I can't believe I know this bloody stuff. This season is, he said something about, I want to have a kid with Ali.
James, you mean? Yeah.
And then he's like, if Brock can do it, I can do it. And he had to leave the country, and his kid, and all that kind of stuff, Yeah. And it's just kind of they were like, oh, James, So I'm sure that's going to get brought back up, and Brock's going to get wound up about that.
Yeah, Brock's quite sensitive about that. So that was my guess. But I can also imagine, they do drink at these reunions. So if James is drinking, James becomes quite
they'll load him up on...
aggressive, I don't know, what's the word? Obnoxious. He has a mouth on him when he's drinking.
He doesn't know when to stop talking.
And he might have...
Gets him into trouble.
And he might have... gone after Schwartz for...
He might have gone after Schwartz, yeah.
There could have been Raquel, or knowing about the affair the whole time. And I don't know. Yeah, we'll see, but it sounds interesting. Yeah. The whole gang went out to dinner afterward at a bar and were acting like children when Entertainment Tonight coverage of an interview with Raquel that TMZ did came up on the television. They all gathered around the bar and started screaming, "Boo!"
Tom Sandoval.
Yeah, about Raquel and Sandoval.
They should have made a bonfire and he wasn't him on the bonfire. It's gonna be like Tom Sandoval Day.
Yeah.
November the 5th.
It'll be interesting. I think it's probably not going to be till like toward the end of May, I think. So we've got quite a while before we're going to see anything, but
yeah.
It's out there anyway. It's done.
It's done.
Yeah. There's a lot of leaks coming
well, they can't
out about it, and everybody's just like, we're gonna know all the details before the reunion comes on. Like, there's not gonna be any point in watching, but everybody will still watch anyway. Everybody who was going to watch will still watch anyway. Yes. I should say, yeah.
But yes, that was all the Scandival you're gonna get today. So apologies for that.
Apologies for Erica's outburst.
Because it's, 2023. A schoolboy that attended a Beatles concert in 1963 at a all-boys school.
Yeah.
Has revealed he has the earliest known full recording of the Beatles playing live at that gig.
Okay.
And he's just released it. Well, not released it. He's come out with it, and it's on this, like, Radio 4.
How did he record it, though?
He had reel-to-reel recorder and stuff. I mean, they requested the Beatles play there.
This was... Okay, wait, say it again.
Okay. The earliest known full recording of the Beatles playing a live concert in the UK, at the point they were becoming the biggest band in the nation, has been revealed by BBC Radio 4's Front Row almost exactly 60 years after it was made. The hour-long quarter-inch tape recording was made by 15-year-old John Bloomfield at the Stowe Boarding School in Buckinghamshire on 4th of April 1963 when the band played a concert at the school's theatre.
That can't be the earliest, though. Can it? Because we have recordings of them in Hamburg.
Yes.
So...
But a live concert in the UK. It's like the earliest known...
Earlier than the Some Other Guy at the Cavern?
No, that wasn't a concert, though. That was just one... That was one or two songs. This was a full concert, apparently.
Yeah, okay.
And they'd been booked by fellow pupil David Moores, who had written to manager Brian Epstein. Epstein, perhaps recognising the connection to an important Liverpool family, the Moores family owned the Littlewoods football pools and retail business, agreed to the booking for a fee of £100, and Moores raised the funds by selling tickets to schoolmates.
Oh my god.
Bloomfield was a self-confessed tech geek keen to try out a new reel-to-reel tape recorder. Now in his 70s, he revealed the existence of the tape when the BBC went to Stowe to make a Front Row special about the 60th anniversary of the concert.
Why in God's name has he been holding on to this tape for all these years?
Because, it's like, I've got stuff that no one knows about. It always comes out like, oh, I've got an old Beatles thing I recorded off the TV, and it's like, the BBC are like, oh no, we don't have any of the Top of the Pop stuff, give it to us, let's see it, and it's like, oh yeah, I'll release this on the 60th anniversary of it,
God, that's a lot of planning.
It was a unique Beatles gig performed in front of an almost entirely male audience, and crucially, despite loud cheers and some screaming, the tape is not drowned out by the audience reaction. Captures the appeal of the Beatles' tightly owned live act with a mixture of their club repertoire of R&B covers and the start of the Lennon-McCartney songwriting partnership. And apparently, it captures, like, them taking requests off the boys,
Oh, yeah.
For, like, songs that had been released a couple of weeks earlier,
Yeah.
And apparently George had a sore throat, so he wasn't singing and stuff like that. I think part of it was, like, released on that Front Row. Mark Lewison got involved, obviously, because he's got to hear everything to do with the Beatles,
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, it may have even been uncovered because of him, because for some reason...
He's digging stuff up, he's
digging stuff up that everybody else is like, what? And that's why it's taken him so goddamn long for the second book to come out.
Yeah, the second Tune In, volume 2.
Jeez.
I mean, he wants to kind of keep it researched and thorough, you know.
Tune in, turn on, and drop out, but he may drop out before he gets that
well,
one
that's
written.
it. You know, that's it. Yeah, I mean, but he doesn't want to hurry it, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
And who's going to take it over, eh? You. Yeah. You're going to be the one. But yeah, so that's, you know, that was another...
I mean, just the idea that these people are sitting around with, just sitting on this
like
stuff.
full Beatles recordings that sound okay, you know.
Yeah, recordings or even pictures, you know.
Yeah, because, I mean, some of them, you know, like, an anniversary of the Beatles playing in York this year in 1963, so-and-so who attended has, you know, some pretty good snaps of the band, you know.
So can you imagine how much Paul McCartney would pay that guy to own that concert?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Paul loves collecting Beatles memorabilia.
He's a big fan. He's a big fan of the Beatles. He loves making, you know, spending his money on that. But yes, I mean, we'll move on from entertainment now.
Okay.
We're quite over time, actually. Into the science and tech.
Okay.
Portion of the program. And the US space agency, NASA, has named the 4 astronauts who will take humanity back to the moon after a 50-year gap.
Oh, yeah.
Going back to the moon, people.
I mean, why?
Get in.
Yeah, we've already been there.
Christine Koch, I guess, will become the first woman astronaut ever assigned to the lunar mission, while Victor Glover will be the first black astronaut on one.
I mean, thank God they're going back, though, because you have these people who don't
they
believe
won't land
that it
on
ever
the
happened.
moon. They'll pave the way for a future touchdown by a subsequent crew.
What?
Yeah, because that's always been the thing. Like, you know, all the conspiracy theorists and all that. Oh, they never happened. It never happened. It was shot in a TV studio in Hollywood.
Yeah.
People go, oh, why haven't you been back then? If, you know,
yeah.
You get this, oh, it costs too much money and it's too far away.
Yeah.
And it is kind of too far away.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about it, you can get up and you can orbit the Earth and everything, but, you know, the moon is quite far away from the Earth.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm.
You know, it's, and the sun even more so, you know?
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
Nobody's going to the sun, though, anytime
well,
soon.
You never know. We might need to go to the sun for some reason. We might need to, like, go and check it out. But yeah, so that's going to happen. And, you know, that's in the early 2024.
Okay.
Yeah.
The original moon landing was on my birthday. July 20th.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't alive at the time, but...
The New York Times has lost its blue tick on Twitter.
Oh, jeez.
After it said it would not pay to remain verified. It doesn't have the money to do that. No. I mean, I don't know if it...
That's interesting.
It just won't pay to remain verified. So, Twitter, obviously, if you've heard, has started removing verification badges from accounts which already had a blue tick, after announcing they would be part of a paid subscription from 1st of April. And, you know, the New York Times, along with several other organizations and celebrities, said, I'm not going to pay for that, then.
Yeah.
And it prompted Elon Musk, who owns it, to launch a volley of insults at the newspaper, because that's a significant...
Oh, I saw that,
It's
actually.
a significant portion of revenue that they're missing out on with things like that.
Yeah.
Because under Twitter's new rules, blue ticks, which once showed official verified accounts, will start to be removed from accounts which do not pay for it.
Yeah.
And organizations seeking verification badges instead have to pay a monthly fee of $1,000
Yeah, jeez.
to receive a gold verification tick, while individual accounts must pay $8.
Jeez.
So, yeah, I mean... organizations $1,000 a month, you know, it's going to rack up.
Yeah.
How many organizations are on Twitter?
Yeah.
The BBC, you know.
Well, that's what he intends to happen, you know. I think, though, Facebook and Instagram are doing the same thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
You have to pay to have the verification.
Because it's like,
now.
you know, people paying, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have, there's, you know, there's going to be people coming on there with my name who are paying for the site, and they're not necessarily impersonating me.
Yeah.
But, you know, people think, oh, that's them.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially if they don't have a picture of themselves, you know.
Yeah.
If
they're paying $8 a month, you know.
Yeah.
John Doe, you know. It's like, oh, he's not the John Doe, though.
Yeah. It's like, well, how do we know? It's just a picture of a cat,
Yeah.
you know? It might be.
He's paying $8.
I mean, in some ways, I think
gotta be the real John Doe.
It democratizes it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody.
Well, it gives them a revenue stream anyway, because.
Well, I mean, everybody can be verified. Everybody can protect their own identity. You know what I mean? You don't have to be somebody to have the blue check.
Yeah.
You just have to pay for it. But at the same time, it's just like, it's really not that serious, you know?
He was like, we're just going to have people pay for it, and the I think he said this anyway, and the people who already have it, they can just, it's legacy verified, you know, they don't have to. But then it was like, oh no, we can make money off them too.
Yeah.
So, $1,000 to every celebrity who wants to be verified on Twitter, you know? And speaking of another app, TikTok, you know, has been making headlines because of the hearing about ByteDance. I think that's the parent company of TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't even know, do you? You just call it TikTok.
I don't know, no.
Its boss, Xu Zichu, appeared before US politicians at Congress, where he fielded hostile questions about Chinese parent company ByteDance and how much access China has to the app's data.
Yeah.
But, you know, another thing is, it's far from the only Chinese-owned mobile app to conquer Western markets.
Oh, yeah?
TikTok might be popular, and, TikTok, it's stealing our data. It's like, well, what about CapCut, which is a video editing software? It's a companion editor for TikTok.
Yeah, a lot of people use that.
There's also Shein.
Oh, yeah.
That's owned by a Chinese billionaire. Or it was founded by a Chinese billionaire.
Yeah.
And there's this one called Temu. Temu.
Yeah.
And it's been less than a year since this shopping app debuted in the US, but it quickly outpaced Amazon and Walmart. The online superstore sells everything from apparel to electronics. And
apparel.
Apparel. However you say it. I think I call it apparel. Apparel spritz. To electronics. and allows consumers to bypass warehouse stores and buy directly from the Chinese manufacturer. Because if you go on eBay, right?
Yeah.
All these Chinese companies, these Chinese sellers are selling on there. And it only costs you $2 for this, I don't know, rubber mic stand or whatever. Just little knick-knack things, little tech things.
Yeah.
But it'll take 30 years for it to get here because it's coming from China, but it's so cheap.
Yeah, because that's literally all it costs, really,
literally, they are selling it for what they made it for.
Yeah.
Not even.
Yeah.
They're actually putting a little bit of money on top of it. But the prices are so low that many Americans were searching, is Temu legit, after the company ran an ad during this year's Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And the company's headquartered in Boston, but it is a subsidiary of PDD Holdings, a Chinese-owned online retail giant that specializes in direct-to-consumer products. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Zuckerberg and... Zuckerberg and Google and, these other places, they're lobbying the government to get rid of TikTok.
Because it's becoming far too big for its boots.
Yeah. Yes, it's them wanting to get rid of their competition, which is not right, It's not right. It's not very American. It's not very democratic. Meanwhile, Facebook sells our data to China. So
they sell it to everyone. Anyone who can put their hand in their pocket for it.
I saw someone said, "Oh yeah, they sell it to China, but Facebook is run over here." What difference does that make?
Well, that's the whole reason this thing was started up. It's jingoism and xenophobia and China bad. China's the bad guy. Invest in American-made products. Yeah. White people selling you stuff,
which I'm fine. Somebody in America make an app like TikTok, but
it's like, we don't like being outstripped as like the leader of the tech world or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And it's just kind of like, yeah, that's the kind of like thing that's, you know, like the Trump base.
Yeah. It's a load of crap. Are you on TikTok? Let us know. We're on TikTok.
Yeah, we're on TikTok. We haven't done too many TikToks.
No, but give us a follow over there if you are there.
Yeah.
We're at TBuddy, TEABUTTY.
Yes. And this is the last bit of news now, business news. Before we go, before we leave you,
we're way over time.
Way over time, but it's okay. You like listening to us, don't you? Don't you?
Don't ask them that.
Little Caesars Pizza franchise is relaunching in the UK.
Relaunching?
It's already launched one in Derby, and because it's, you know, apparently, I didn't even know this, it's the third biggest pizza chain in the world, behind Domino's and I guess Pizza Hut, you know.
Okay, yeah.
And it's got restaurants across 27 countries and territories, but hasn't really managed to crack into the UK market.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I mean, is it my favorite pizza? No.
No. But
it's fine,
when I first got here, you used to go on about it a little bit.
It's fine for the price.
You used to do your little pizza.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
I don't know. Well, the price, I mean, you cannot beat the price if you want pizza.
Yeah. And they've, you know, it used to be just pepperoni and cheese pizzas.
Especially when, like, grocery store frozen pizzas are now almost as much as going and getting a freshly made pizza from, like, Little Caesars or Domino's.
Yes.
You know, like...
I mean, they're almost I mean, you can get a $5 carryout.
You used to be able to get a frozen pizza for, like, $2 or something.
Yeah.
And so it was, like, that was always a better option if you wanted a pizza than getting a pizza from, you know, one of these restaurants. But now they're like $4 cheapest, bare minimum.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can get a
carryout
one that's already cooked for like $5-7, you know.
And it's like, you know, yeah.
You
don't have to go home and cook it then. Yeah.
None of them are healthy for you, so, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pizza.
You might as well just get the one.
Pizza.
You might as well get the one that's already made, and, you know, save yourself some electricity sticking it in the oven. You know.
But yeah, you know that, you know, they're launching over there. They launched in 1985.
You guys don't really have a lot of pizza chains in the UK.
It's more like
it's American chains, isn't
local pizza chains.
Yeah.
And usually
Pizza Express, isn't that one?
Pizza Express is a chain, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pizza Hut and Domino's and Papa John's now rule the roost over there.
Yeah.
But, you know, when, you know, like in like the towns that I lived in, there was usually like kebab shops that also did pizza.
Yeah.
And
sort of the same thing, isn't it? You just flatten instead of it being folded, you just flatten it out.
Yeah, they also did pizza. No, I mean, there was a place called Door to Door Pizza, which did fantastic pizzas. You can get a chicken tikka pizza there. I don't even know if it's still going. But it was
our favorite in Britain is the pizza counter at Asda.
Yes, the pizza counter at Asda, where you actually have to go and cook it, though.
Well, yeah.
But it's considerably a bit cheaper. Well, it was.
It was, yeah. I wonder
I don't know if it's come out now.
I don't know. UK listeners, let us know how much you can get a pizza for at the pizza counter at Asda nowadays.
Because you could create your own. You could get like an 18-inch stone bake.
Yeah.
And you could put your cheese and your sauce and your toppings on it.
Yeah.
And they do it for you. And then they shrink wrap it. They put like cellophane wrap on it. And you take it home. Yeah. And it would cost about £2-3.
Whenever we go back to Britain at some point, we will make a video.
We'll make a video of that whole process.
Yeah.
If it's still going. Because you never know, they might have ditched it now.
Yeah.
Because what they'd do is they'd make like ready-made ones, ready-made, not ready-cooked, and they put them out. But you could go up and, you know, get your custom-made one. You know, and take it home.
It's like Papa Murphy's over here, only a fraction of the price.
Papa Murphy's, yeah, that's what, $20 to.
It was like $14.
And then you get it taken home. You got to take it home and cook it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Oh my gosh. All right. We are way over time. Thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. A special shout out to our patrons for being our patrons. We really appreciate you guys.
The patrons are in the know.
Yes.
About things.
Yes. Our patrons always get to know.
We get a bit more personal with them.
Yeah. So if you want to check out our Patreon page, we are at patreon.com/teaandabutty. Otherwise, just give us a follow on social media if you would like to support us. We are at TButty, TEABUTTY on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all the things, all the places. If you would like, you could also leave us a review in whichever podcast app you are listening to us on.
Leave us a review and let us know about it on one of our social medias.
Yeah.
Say, we just left you a review. Go look at it now.
Other than that, we will talk to you guys next time.
Next time. Goodbye.
Bye.